Okay. Is it baby? About to be live.
About to be live.
All right, family and friends, go ahead on and tag and share. Let's get everybody in for that's right. It's the Greg James Community Show. Let's get everybody in. This show today is going to be very informative and it's going to be very exciting. So let's get everybody tuned in. Let's get everybody in. Tag and share. Let's get everybody in.
Ooh, somebody's singing. I don't know. We got to pass the plate.
The tag and share. Let's get everybody in to the Greg James Community Show. Hey, listen, you're going to be inspired. You're going to be informed. And listen, you're going to want to make sure. Call all your friends, especially those young men and young ladies who's interested in kicking the new year off with a bright future. I'm talking to the CEO and the founder. Listen, you don't want to miss this broadcast. Want to say good afternoon and once again welcome to that's right, it's the Greg James Community Show right here on 95.3. Hallelujah. That's right, it's the broadcast station that you want to be tuned into. Listen, I need you to go ahead on and tag and share. Let's get everybody in. I'm going to give you a minute to go ahead on and get some of your friends in because they don't want to miss this broadcast today. And the reason why they don't want to miss it because I am talking to someone that is going to share with us how life can be better for those who are looking for a career in driving. That's right, in driving. So I want you to tag and share. Want to say good afternoon to Vonda Stewart. She's tuned in. Want to say good afternoon to Dee. Want to say good afternoon to everyone that's tuned in. Go ahead on and tag and share. I'm going to give you a few minutes to do it. It's been a while since I've been on the air. And so, I have been, Wednesdays have been coming so fast until before I know it, I woke up, it's Wednesday and I missed it. And today I'm grateful that one, I'm here as we prepare for the holidays. Man, I'm telling you, I know you got so much in store. And I know there's so many people who are looking forward to spending time with families. Big shout out to Shan Sykes. He's tuned in. Big shout out to all of you all who are tuned in. Listen, if you're tuned in to the broadcast, I need you to go ahead on and put some hearts on that screen. Go ahead on and put some hearts there. And let's get ready to talk to the man of the hour. And I'm delighted to have this opportunity to be interviewing the CEO and the founder of trucking schools in Louisiana and Florida, Mr. Herman Matney. How are you, sir?
I'm well. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing absolutely amazing. Listen, I'm certainly delighted to have you. How's the weather in New Orleans?
Man, it is sunny and hot. It reminds me of Florida. It's a beautiful, you can't even tell it's a few days away from Christmas at all.
Mm-hmm. Well, listen, let's talk a little bit because
Santa be
Can you hear me? Because you're freezing up on me.
I can now.
Okay, wonderful. Wonderful. Let's talk a little bit about Herman. Tell me a little bit about you. I mean, when I look at your resume, I'm heavily impressed because you're an author. As a matter of fact, you're an SBA awards-winning coach. And when I look through the resume, I mean, I'm saying to myself, how is it that one man can get 8 degrees and you just got accepted into Harvard to work on your doctorate? I kept looking.
I'm waiting to get accepted into Harvard. I'm waiting. By March, I'll know.
We're gonna declare that it's already done.
Call it into, yes. Call me a Harvard fellow.
Absolutely.
There it is. There it is.
We're declaring it already done. 8 degrees. The governor of Louisiana gave you an amazing award because 5,000 students completed your course, went on to life-changing careers. I mean, you author how to get free CDL training from the U.S. government. Man, how did all of this happen, Herman?
All right, so I'm gonna give you the short story because I'm old and I got a lot of stories, right? So let me give you the very, very shortest version of this. Out of high school, I went into the. I grew up in the projects in New Orleans, and I talked to a truck driver, and he was making $500 a week. Now today, that don't sound like nothing, but back in the 70s, the late 70s, that was a lot of money, right? He had his own house, he had his own truck, all of those things. So when I finished high school, I put in my yearbook that I wanted to be a trucker because at that time that's the most money I heard somebody make, not being a postman or whatever. To shorten this up, so I went into the Marines. I asked them to teach me how to drive. Right now, this is the part that most people laugh at. I didn't even have a driver's license. I didn't know how to drive a stick. All I know is I wanted to be a driver because I heard that they make money. Long story short, the Marines failed that butt. I didn't know how to ship. I didn't even technically know how to drive. I didn't have a license. So the Marines basically moved me from driving to logistics, meaning working in a warehouse. But I felt bad because at that time I never failed at anything, right? Graduated top of my class. I was in the Marine Corps. I graduated at the top of that class. So I'd never really experienced any failure, and I didn't want to experience that again. So when I went home, I studied, and I passed my Class B license. Then I decided to open up a nonprofit organization to help inner center youth to get their CDL, Class B CDLs, which is different from an A. Class B is like box trucks. All right, from there, that didn't work out too well because you have to beg for money, right? I'm always begging governments, corporations to give me the money to send my kids to school. So I changed that from a nonprofit to a for-profit. And that's how I wind up now being able to have 4 CDL schools, trucking company, staffing company, all of that, because I went for profit. Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm listening. Absolutely. And I mean, I am listening,
okay.
And there are people who are tuning in. So all of that started from the military, and all of that started from meeting a young man who told you how much he was making. And that's what created that desire to say, hey, listen, I've got to take this path. And you just took trucking to a whole nother level. Let's talk about now, because here it is, there are several schools that you have now. And one of the things that you are aware of is how young men and young ladies who desire to get into the trucking industry, you're able to show them how to do it for free. Talk a little bit about that. All
right. So I got mine technically for free because of the military, right? But I owed them 6-7 years of my life. So it wasn't really free. Now, when I came home, like I said, I opened up a nonprofit to be able to help inner city kids to get their B license so they can go work for RTA. They can work at the airport, something like that, so they can stay out of trouble, right? Again, I didn't get that financing, so I signed up and got a for-profit school. And at that for-profit school, we got the ability to get state agencies, the federal government, to give grants for people to go to school. Now, so for the last 5 or 6 years, we've helped over 5,000 students to get grants from the government, to whereas they able to pay for their training. They don't have to go to the military for 6 or 7 years. They can let Uncle Sam pay their way. Now, this is what I've learned over the 6 to 7 years that I've been doing this, right? Is that if you get SNAP benefits, if you don't, go get them, because once you get SNAP benefits, you can automatically qualify for the grant. They don't have to do an income background on you. So that's the first thing, right? So we make sure that the clients that want to come on, that if they don't have stamps, go here, do this, say this, to go ahead and get the stamps, to be able to get the grant. Now, let's say you're not eligible for the stamps. So if you're not eligible for the stamps, there's different ways for you to go ahead and get the grant. One thing is, in Florida, if your family of 4 is making under $100,000 a year, you're income qualified to get the grant, right? So that's what I put into my book of how to get free grants from the government. Is the step-by-step process for you to go ahead and get it and then apply to go to CDL school. They will pay your way. That way you don't have to pay go work for somebody where they trained you, and you have to work for them for a year to a year and a half. For them they're free. Okay, so that's how you get the grants, Pastor.
Wow, listen, one of the things that I know is so important now is that there are so many young men and young ladies who are coming out back into society who have criminal records. And I've had several people who have asked me this morning, once they saw the flyer, does having a criminal background stop you from going or participating in the CDL program and going on to be employed?
Yes and no. So technically, they don't like child offenders, right?
Absolutely.
So if your criminal justice background has to do with offending children or molesting children, we can't get you on. Outside of that, right, it depends. Like, for example, if you got armed robbery in your background, I can't get you on with FedEx. FedEx won't take you. Now, what we do is you can still get your CDL, but we help you to open up your own company. That way you don't have to
wait. So wait. Now you just said something that set my antennas up. You just said that once a person can get their CDLs, even with criminal history, depending on what that criminal history is, you're able to help them now open up. If no one wants to hire you, you're helping now open up your own company. So
True.
You have been able to do that in the past.
Yeah. So let me give you a perfect example. Here in Louisiana, we have a prison system called Angola. So my baby brother had gone to Angola, came home after doing about 7 or 8 years, and he wanted to get his CDL as well. So I helped him to get his CDL. So he worked for one of my companies called Wing 7 Trucks. We had an Amazon contract, but the company had the Amazon contract. He just was working for me. So he was able to pull Amazon loads and make some good money, getting the money that can come in. All right. So the short answer is there's a number of companies will hire you because they're going to get the federal tax credit for hiring you. So they're not unopposed to hiring you at all. It's just some backgrounds won't let them. And if you do have issues with that, I show people how to fix their personal credit, tie it to business credit, get their DOT, and open up their own trucking company. Okay, so there's nothing to stop a determined person. But the short answer is yes. As you have criminal background issues, companies will hire you still, as long as those issues are not children related.
Wow. So those of you who are listening to the virtual, those of you who are listening to the broadcast, I'm talking with Herman Manny, and listen, Saturday at 9 a.m. Life Church International, 4409 Bluntstown Highway. We're preparing you for a new year, a new start. and a new opportunity. So if you know someone that's interested in getting CDLs or even interested in knowing how to pursue a career, but right now CDL is your focus, you have mastered understanding how it's done, they need to meet us Saturday at 9 a.m. at Life Church International. They need to be there because getting there on Saturday can possibly change their whole life. Would you agree with that, Herman?
Listen, I'm going to tell you a quick story because what you're telling them is true. But let me tell you this. So some women are starting to get into the industry because they don't want to be totally dependent on men, right? Even with women with kids. About 4 or 5 years ago, a single mom. Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
So about 4 or 5 years ago, a single mother came to my school in Lake Charles, right? And she had one kid and she was working 2 jobs, one at McDonald's, and then she was working as a Lyft driver. They didn't have Uber. The town was small, right? Make a long story short. Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
All right, beautiful. So she came to the school and she couldn't come every day because she still had to make money to feed, to do everything. She stayed in an apartment. And it took her longer because she had to work, but she got out. Now, let me tell you this. She was struggling, so I would have her come in at night and just practice on the truck overtime. And this lady here barely passed her exam, barely passed her test, but she did pass. In fact, she got it in on the last try to get her a CDL. Now, fast forward to today. This lady now has her own house. She has a babysitter for the baby. She has a new car. And this lady was formerly working at McDonald's and working as a Lyft driver. She said, took to the news interviewed her, and this thing totally changed her life financially and otherwise because she's able to put her kid in better school. She's able to do for herself. And I think she done got married to a pastor, whatever the case might be. But this CDL gave her hope, gave her inspiration, and helped to change her financial trajectory. So you're absolutely right. Some people that's coming this weekend, some people that's coming Saturday, right, to the church between 9 and 12, some of you are going to get your life changed, the ones that take action, the ones that show up, the ones that want this for themselves. Because if you apply yourself, I'm going to do everything in my ability to ensure that you get your license and you find your job or you find your own business. So that's what it is, Mr. Pastor James.
Wow. Certainly for those of you who are listening to the broadcast, I'm talking with Herman. He's the CEO and founder of trucking schools in Louisiana and Florida. Beyond all of that, he's an author who wrote a book entitled How to Get Your Free CDL License and Training. Not only that, 5,000 individuals have completed school through some of his programs. And the governor of Louisiana recognized the impact that he was having, awarded him. So listen, we're not talking with someone who don't understand how to make it happen. We're talking with someone who understands what the needs are and how to help you fulfill those needs. Listen, you were awarded by the SBA out of Washington, D.C. Man, tell us a little bit about that. I mean, your resume, I really had to Google search to say, let me make sure that all of this is that you are for 8 degrees. It took me forever to get one. Tell us a little bit about
I am a straight nerd. I love they had to drag me out of school. I absolutely love teaching too. So it wasn't hard. To get 5,000 people to get their CDL because we put a system in place, right? To whereas they can go online and take all their classroom stuff online, right? All the mandatory stuff from the federal government, and then that leaves us more time with hands-on with the truck, so you can master the truck to pass your test and then go get a job. So that part was easy for me because putting systems in place academically, it comes easy to me. Now, to answer your question before, is that my school in Lake Charles was centrally located, and we were putting out so many people that somebody submitted us to the SBA. I was in an incubator program, and the incubator program had ties to the governor's office out there in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, which is like Tallahassee, it's the capital. And then they submitted my resume, submitted what we've done, and the governor called us up there to the governor's mansion, and they gave us an award. A couple of other businesses as well gave us awards for helping the community, for mentoring and getting people jobs.
So listen, let me say this, because right now we're in a moment whereby driving is really sexy, if I can say it like that, because everything happens, everything moves through driving. So it's not, how I want to say, it's not a career that you can take lightly, but it's definitely a life-changing career. What can people expect on Saturday morning when they enter Life Church to hear about how their life can change?
All right, so this is what I want. This is what I expect. I expect you to get there early at 9 o'clock. Let me tell you why. The ones that get there early, we'll be able to work with them one-on-one on filling out their application for SNAP, right? Filling out their application to belong to the school. Everybody that shows up is going to get a letter of acceptance. You cannot get the grant unless you have a school that's willing to accept you. So if you're following Pastor James and you want to change your life, show up early so we can get you the letter of acceptance, and we can talk about how to get your SNAP if you don't have the SNAP, how to fill out the application to Career Source, and then we also going to have you fill out the application to the school. So if you get there early, you'll be able to get that one-on-one attention that you can't get later on when I have speakers. So once that happens, we fill them out at a certain time, like 10:30, or we're going to start having speaker like Pastor James, right, who is a great orator. Hopefully get Reverend Walker to come there as well. The people from SNAP said they're going to try to make it. Career Source are going to try to make it. We reached out to some employers, right? We're going to have fellow students that already graduated, because we're new in Florida, and already we got a number of people, 100% graduation already in Florida already. So we're going to have those people come out to inspire, educate, and encourage you all that this could be done. The program is only 30 days, right? It doesn't take that long. But that 30 days could be the difference between you working at some low-level job to you receiving enough money to support your family and to support your dreams. So that's what's going to happen Saturday. Come early for the one-on-one coaching to start filling out applications, and then you stay till the speakers come on to where they can encourage, inspire you to be the best that you can be. So that's
well. Listen, I see a young lady on here. Her name is Katie Story. I saw her driving through the city in this big old truck. She's a little individual, but she was driving in this big old truck. And I understand she went through your school.
Listen, so me having schools inspired her to go to school there in Florida, right? So she is the reason why we opened up a school, though. So her inspiration came from the point that she's my cousin, right? When we call each other cousins, we're from Louisiana together. She moved out there after Katrina, and then when we reconnected, we consider each other cousins. She said, "Cousin, you need to come out here to Tallahassee and open up a school, right?" She said, "I'm in school right now, and you need to come out here." I told her no. I said, "No, I got multiple schools down here I got to keep an eye on. I don't have time to go cross state lines to do that." She said, "Listen, keep an open mind, come out here, and then after you come out here, make a decision." So I did that. So Miss Kareen Story, my cousin, had me come to TSC. They have a truck driving program over there, which she attended. And what I seen was there were some people that was criminally injustice right there. The whole school, only 8 people. And when I seen that they had a 2-month program and they only could take 8 people at a time, that I was like, she's right. I need to put a school out here because we can graduate using technology, cutting the time period down. We can graduate more people that's been criminally impacted, right, in a shorter period of time, and also find them jobs. So she is the reason why the school is open, because she told me to shut my mouth, open my eyes, come out there, and then listen. And I was so glad that she did, because already we have a number of students that have graduated and it's about to change their lives.
Wow. I mean, so listen, for those of you who are listening to the broadcast, it's Saturday morning, Life Church International. It starts at 9. You want to get there early, as the CEO, Mr. Herman, said he's going to spend time and his team with you individually, get that application in, going to figure out how to get your funding to get in school. And if you're serious about it, you are at the place where your life can take off. Listen, you said something, and I want you to touch on this a little bit more, because you said, and I think one of the things that is so important, and I'm sure, I'm just listening to you, I'm sure people have not understood the value of accessing credit, the value of business credit. You said that if an individual can't get hired, you're able to show them how to put together their own business plan, open up their own business, and they now will have the opportunity to hire others. Let's talk about what that looks like, because I'm sure that you are inspiring others. I mean, I'm not a big driver, but just sitting here listening to you, you might have me enrolled in the class.
All right. So let me touch on that a real short, because I could talk for that for hours. Now, let me explain this to you. When you hear that I have 4 CDL schools, trucking company, staffing company, real estate development, I didn't get it off my face, right? I think I could have swiped my face card and got it, but that's not the way the banks work, right? So for the people that says, listen, I want to work for myself, I want to do everything else. The name of our school is CDL Mentors. We mentor you for greatness. We're not just satisfied that you want to go work for somebody else, because at some point you're going to notice that it's better to have your own truck. It's better to work for yourself to make that money, instead of you working and sending somebody else, family, on a vacation or to college or whatever. So for those people that they want more, right, we show them how to clean up their personal credit, how to attach it to a business, and then get business funding for your trucks and get enough capital as a cushion. So that's why I named the school CDL Mentors, because we weren't just satisfied with us calling ourselves a trucking company, when we can mentor you to do better, mentor you to have your own business, mentor you to be able to inspire other people.
Wow. You know, I'm sure that you have had some amazing stories, and you told us about the young lady who ended up having to come to night classes. Y'all made the sacrifice. And I think stories like this are inspiring, they're motivating for that person who feels like he can or she can. Once they're able to hear the testimony of someone else, it gives them the gumption to say, I can do it. If there was another story that you had to tell to this 15,000 listeners that I've got tuned in, what would that be when it comes to someone who just felt like their life was at a place they couldn't go forward, but through CDL Mentors, they were able to pick their life up, and now they're blossoming?
All right. So I told you that I opened up several schools. One of the schools in Lake Charles, when we first got started, we had to advertise for people to come to the school. We gave a raffle. We raffled off CDL sponsorship. So we're doing that in Tallahassee as well. We're raffling off 2 CDLB sponsorship for the people that show up. You have to show up and sign in and get a ticket. And then from there, I'm going to come on Pastor Greg's show, and we're going to select 2 people to go to CDL school under a B license for free. So that's one thing that we advertise to get people in. One of the people that showed up, he didn't win the raffle, but he was working full-time at a Speedy Oil Change, whatever they call those places like that. He was a assistant manager, but he was only making like $11 or $12 an hour, and that wasn't enough for him to really, feed his family and everything else. So on weekends, he would come to school. So this guy right here, who's already working, but was working at a low-end type of job that wasn't, he decided on the weekends to come and get his CDL. Now, he got his CDL. Now, this is the thing, and the trajectory that I want y'all to understand. After getting his CDL, he went work for a cement place, right, for about a year. After the cement place, he went work over the road for a company, right? And over the road, he started saving his money. And within 2 years, this brother had saved enough money to get a down payment on a house, right? After 2 years, he had saved enough money to get a down payment on his own truck. So please understand that today, he owns several trucks of his own. So again, we mentor you for greatness, but wherever you want to do is fine with us. but we want to help you to do better. So that story of this brother who came to the school 5 years ago, and now he has multiple trucks, right? Started from somebody that was just making $11 an hour, got his license, and changed his life, changed his address because they were living in an apartment. Then they got a house, and now, to me, he's in a much better financial situation than $11 an hour.
Wow. And I'm sure that has to really warm your heart. It has to make you feel and know that you're operating in purpose. And Katie say, I would say, listen to your cousin and keep an open mind. So Katie, we thank you for being the voice that cried in the ears of Mr. Herman to say, hey, get to Tallahassee and do what needs to be done here. And we're grateful that you had the opportunity to come, share, see, and took the time to really make it back to plant the school here in Tallahassee.
Listen, and it goes deeper than that, Pastor. Let me tell you this, right? Tallahassee, Quincy, that area has been showing me straight love, right? The career sources, we've connected some good people that want to help people to get their things. We're now connected with your church, Reverend Walker's church, Bishop Tyrone Smith church. So the churches are playing a role like they did back in the civil rights. They are taking action to help people to elevate, to move up social economically. That's what I particularly love, right? I haven't seen this type of love in Lake Charles and Baton Rouge, or even my hometown of New Orleans. Y'all community is about helping other people, and I absolutely love that. Whether you come to CDL, whether you be a welder, a nurse, whatever the case might be, y'all give programs out to help people to get clothing, food, and everything else. My hat is off to you and your fellow pastors in that area, because y'all are doing what's needed to be done. So when you come for the grant, whether you want to come to school with us or go somewhere else, is okay. You come there, we're going to help you to apply for it. And if something else you want to do, it's okay with me. As long as you're doing better. And y'all community in Tallahassee and Quincy, y'all show so much love. I love that community. I'm so glad my cousin Kareem told me to come out there, because there's been nothing but love. There's people out there that's willing to help you. Pastor Greg has a whole program right now to help you to change your life. He wants to see you win. In fact, one of your fellow people that introduced me to you, Tyrone, right? I believe Tyrone Smith.
Yes, sir.
Moore. I think it's Moore.
Tyrone Moore, right?
Yes, sir. He had been on the news. He one of them that you helped to get the vote back, get his voting rights back, and everything else. He's so grateful that you've taken those steps. He graduated from the school. He's one of the first graduates from the school. Somebody with criminal justice issues came back and he graduated. And he wants to own his own truck. That's what he wants to do. He wants to own his own truck. So I love it. I love that community, and I love what you're doing, because all it's doing is reverberating throughout the whole area, the whole Big Bend County, right? The whole area of Leon, Wakulla, Jefferson, right? And Gaskin County. If y'all in those counties, come in. We can get you all approved for the grant and let the government pay for your schooling. But all thanks to you, Pastor, and the other pastors in that area that is pushing people to be able to get this free CDL, pushing them to be able to get better jobs once they finish school.
You know, one of the things that I'm grateful for is, one, that, a lot of people may not understand it, but I'm grateful for Pastor Walker. We've had the opportunity to Bishop Ty, and we've had the opportunity to collaborate, to talk about, we see that there are opportunities, and we see that if we can connect people with individuals like yourself who have a proven track record of making this happen, if we can be that portal, if we can be that portal that they can come through to get a life-changing opportunity, then that's what life is all about. And certainly when Brother Tyrone Moore reached out to me and said, hey, you need to meet this young man, I didn't hesitate to call you, because I value his opinion. He is formerly incarcerated. I have about 100 men who are formerly incarcerated that have come back into our community that I have given awards to, and the news have captured these stories, because a lot of times men come back into the community and they do great work, but nobody shines the light on them. And they don't do the work to be seen, but they're working. And I made it my business after coming back to celebrate men with the Joseph Award. Joseph in the Bible, he went from the pit to the palace, and he was able to save his family, and he was able to save a nation by being able to help the king interpret his dream. So one of the things that I vowed to do was I vowed to celebrate men that have come back into our community to make a difference. And since 2008, 100 men plus have received the Joseph Award every year at our church during Father's Day. And Tyrone Moore was one of those men. And to hear you say he's graduated from the class and in pursuit of getting his own truck, man, I am elated, because at the end of the day, it's not what you do for yourself, it's what you do for others that count. And I'm certainly grateful to thank God that our paths have crossed, and now we can impact so many more in our communities. So thank you. Listen, I want to, man, listen, this is amazing. Mr. Herman, I'm excited about Saturday morning, 9 a.m. If you got a cousin, if you got an uncle, if you got a niece, if you got an auntie, it's happening in 3 weeks. Earn your CDLs, Life Church International, 9 a.m. to 12 noon. Our church is located 4409 Bluntstown Highway. Listen, get there. That's all I want to say. Get there. If you got friends who are looking for a new opportunity, who are looking for an opportunity, get there. Don't let nothing stop you from getting to 4409 Bluntstown Highway on Saturday morning, because you're going to have an opportunity to hear some amazing testimonies, and you're going to have an opportunity to meet some amazing people. And certainly a man who got 8 degrees, I want to sit at his feet to say, tell me more. So let's talk about some of the, CDL training is happening Saturday. That's one of the main things. I just had somebody to ask me a question. They say, if someone wants to be drive the box truck, what license is needed for that?
Okay, good. So let me say this. There's 2 licenses, right, that's known for CDL, Class B, and I think B is for box truck, think B is for dump trucks, think B for waste management, right? Think B for anything that's over 26,001 pounds, you're going to need a B license for. If it's under, your box truck is under 26,001 pounds, you don't need a license at all, right? You don't need a license to drive it if, as long as whatever you're carrying doesn't go over 26,001 pounds. I tell people to get your CDL with a box truck, because then you're able to carry hazardous material. All right. Then you're able to get you a TWIC card and go in and out of ports, right? As a CDL owner, you can do more, you can make more with a CDL as opposed to a non-CDL, because you can't carry a lot. When you don't have it, when you don't have the license, you definitely can't carry a certain liquid, batteries, or something else that's considered hazardous. So that's the difference, is that in a box truck, it's a single unit thing. It doesn't have a tractor and trailer attached to it. And think not just box trucks, but dump trucks, cement trucks, those types of things, right? That's for the B license. But if it's under 26,000 pounds, you don't really need a CDL. It's almost like you're carrying something personal.
Wow. But the fact that you can come to class, you can finish the training, and you can get a CDL, it makes you more of a valuable carrier of a license.
A license, correct. They pay I tell my students that you having a license is like one of those athletes, right? Let's call Kobe Bryant. He went straight from high school to college, right? It's the same thing. In 3 to 4 weeks, you can have a license, and then you will be a #1 draft pick, because they need drivers. The older drivers, such as myself, are retiring. The baby boomers is what they call us, right? The baby boomers are retiring, so they need drivers. The Department of Labor said there's going to be a 65,000 shortage of drivers over the next 3 to 10 years. So it's going to be in demand, because Pastor James said at the beginning of the podcast that everything comes by truck. Everything in his office, everything in your house, everything comes by truck. You understand? It didn't just walk into the house. A truck had to bring it, right? It didn't just leave the railroad station or the boat yard and come to your house. A truck had to bring it. So that's the type of demand that they have for drivers right now, is because when we're producing things, whether it's homes, offices, everything in my house came by truck. So they need drivers. AI is not going to replace a driver anytime soon.
Wow. And I think the training that is happening on Saturday, it broadens the mindset of not only the person who's training for the CDL, but the training broadens the mindset to say, you got the opportunity to open your own trucking company. And you got me and my team that can show you step by step how it's done. You giving us some examples of a young lady who was working and had to come to night school just to finish. You also giving us an example of a young man who's working, making $11 an hour, but finished CDL school, and you helped him create his own business. Now he is the employee. He's the employer with employees, and his whole life has changed. So the opportunities are vast. I tell people all the time that it's relationships that make your life better. And you got to be able to value those relationships, because the Bible says without knowledge, people perish. And when there's someone who's knowledgeable, then you got to be able to sit, listen, learn, and apply what they're having to offer. We're talking with Herman Matney, who is the CEO and founder of many trucking schools in Louisiana as well as Florida. He is the SBA award winner in the state of Louisiana. And believe it or not, one of the most amazing things about all of this, this man has 8 degrees and he's only 27.
we gotta add, we gotta do something about your math there, Pastor.
Okay.
30 and 27 plus more. But I got the gist. This is what I wanted to add to what you just said. Miss Kareen Story, who you know personally, right? She's going to be the MC at the event. And the reason why we chose her to be the MC is because she's done the things that we talked about. She worked for the DMV, right? She works in insurance to help our people to make sure that you don't have to do a GoFundMe to get married. I mean, to get buried, right? And more importantly, she has her CDL. More importantly, she went through CareerSource, right? CareerSource paid for her CDL. So you're going to have an MC that then went through the program, the MC that then had experienced everything that can answer those questions about what to do at the DMV. How were you able to get the grant, right? How was working after you got the grant? You're going to have real live people that done these things there. So my hat's off to Miss Kareen Story, because she's agreed to come and host such an amazing event at your church, Pastor. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm super excited. You don't even know. I can't wait. And somebody's got to help go get the mic, because when I get the mic, it's hard to let it go. So that'd be Kareen Story's job, is to make sure I don't over mic, because I'll over mic in a minute.
I mean, I tell you, when I saw her driving a truck, and I'm not talking about no little truck, I mean a truck, I'm like, wait a minute. And then when I understood the story that, she inspired you, she was in CDL school, I'm like, wow. And I mean, she's a little petite individual, and she's driving like, it's just amazing. So I'm excited about it. For those of you who are listening, those of you who are tuned in online, listening to us virtually, it's happening Saturday morning, Life Church International, 4409 Blountstown Highway. And I'm delighted that we're in a moment where it's a great time. And one of the things that I know is that when you can empower people, you can change others' lives. So I'm grateful for Mr. Herman, who is going to be with us. And he is just a wealth of knowledge.
It gets better.
It gets better? How much better?
Man, listen, it goes, let me say this. It's just so happened that my partner at the school, right, was working as a driver for Pilot that you get your gas and everything else, right? So he just happened to be a Kareen's instructor at the time. When he said that if I put the school down there, he'll partner with me and he'll make sure that everything happened. So Kareen was the spark, but my partner is the foundation. He's right there from that area, from Quincy. And I'm going to tell you, it wasn't a short process. It was a long process, but he was the reason. He was the glue. He was the reason that everything happened, that we was able to get in with Bishop Smith to get a location. He was able to get money through business credit and funding to get the trucks that we have. And he held it down out in that area. So one of your own from right there in Florida is a partner in that school in Quincy, right? Their family supports the school in Quincy. So that's why I say it gets better, because the school is really homegrown. The school
Wow.
is homegrown.
You know, you said something, and I'm sure you're going to dive into this on Saturday morning, but you say he was a driver at Pilot, but he was also an instructor at the school. But you were able to connect through Katie. You were able to connect. You heard his vision. You were able to then help him get the business started and get the business funding to open up the business with you.
Yes. Yes, that's exactly. You got that 10,000% correct. He had a vision. He worked at school. It wasn't enough. They had a waiting list at the community college, right? More people was going to Jacksonville to get their license because there was a 4-month or 6-month waiting list to get in that school. So he was like, we can put a school here. I would be the instructor, or I would be the overseer, and you can still be in Louisiana, and you can rest assured that this is going to happen. And Mr. Elliot Murphy from right there in Quincy made it happen. I was just a pretty face. He was out there cementing relationships, talking to the prisons, talking to the churches, all of that stuff. So as much as I would like to take all the credit, he gets all the credit. I'm just a pretty face.
Well, you know, I want to say this to those of you who are listening to the broadcast and who are watching us through live streaming. Your vision is so important, because your vision will never take flight unless you connect it with someone who can see it and help you run with it. You were able to see his vision, and then you were able to connect with it, and then you were able to help move him in the right direction of accessing capital. Because many of our people at this moment and at this hour, and we're gonna do another show about that, because many of us don't know how to access capital.
You're right. It's not taught in high school. It's not taught at the kitchen table. I'm gonna be honest with you, right? Accessing capital changed my life, Pastor. I would sit up here and tell you that all those degrees, the bankers didn't ask about one degree. Every banker asked about personal credit. Every banker asked about business credit. Not one of them say congratulations on getting an award. None of them say congratulations on being a Marine. Nobody say congratulations on multiple degrees. Everybody wanted to know my personal credit and business credit. So I came to the conclusion, as slow as I am, that it's your personal credit profile is going to open up doors. Personal credit and business credit is your black card in America. That's your American Express black card, having personal credit and business credit. And we found a way to help people. In fact, I'm going to do this. The first 20 people that come through the door, right? The first 20 people, I'm going to connect them with Elliot Murphy's mom's free credit with AI credit software. I'm going to connect them to free credit for AI to do their credit. All they have to pay for is maybe monitoring, which is $20-something. And she's got a system that's going to help them to clean up their credit for free.
Wait. So you said
not doing past 20.
You said the first 20 people.
Yes.
So wait now. So let me back up, because I heard something that's interesting. You not only did you meet Mr. Murphy, but you met his mom.
His backbone.
And you were able to put his mom in business now with an AI business that does credit repair.
Correct.
Wow. So the first 20 people will be able to.
She's going to put them connected to her system. Listen, her system is free credit vision. Like you have a vision, Pastor, she had a vision to help multiple people in her community to do this. So she got free credit vision, right? .com, and it does free credit repair, right? All the person has to pay is $20-something for monitoring. It has nothing to do with, and then she's going to let her AI system clean up their credit.
Her AI system cleans up the credit.
Correct.
AI does all the work.
AI does all the work.
Have you ever seen anything like this before?
I've never seen. I used to do credit some while back, right? I was able to use credit to help my sons get about $500,000 a line of credit to do real estate, right? So I know the power of credit. That credit helped me to open up 4 CDL schools, trucking companies, staffing companies. So I know, but I never knew that AI technology can do it quicker, can do it faster, and could do it better than I could. So now I know. Now you know. So the first 20 people that come through there, they'll be able to get in to her system. All they pay is $20-something for monitoring. And I'm gonna tell you, credit is expensive. I don't know if anybody ever had to get their credit done, but you sure can't get it for $20. You sure can't get it for $20. So I used to charge $2,500, $1,500 to remove a bankruptcy, and $1,000 to do your credit.
Wow. Listen, let me just say, wow, it's amazing to have you with us, Herman. And he's the CEO and founder of trucking schools in Louisiana and Florida. And listen, it's happening this Saturday morning at Life Church International. We are getting people ready to move into 2025 on a different road, on a different path. And so I'm excited about what is happening. Want to give a big shout out to Pastor Stanley Walker. Want to give a big shout out to Bishop Ty Smith. Want to thank you for making the announcement, and let's get the word out. I mean, we thought about this. We were really thinking about doing it in January, but Mr. Herman said, no, it's the best Christmas gift. It's the best New Year's gift that a person can have if they want to see their life move to a different level. So let's do it. And we put all of this together in such a short period of time, and the response has been phenomenal. I was sitting down eating breakfast, and I got a call from someone who said, hey, let me ask you about this. My brother has a little bit of criminal history, nothing major, all non-violent. I said, well, he need to get a seat. They're running fast, so he need to get a seat and be there. He said, well, I'm get it. And then he wanted to know, can I pass the information on? I said, pass it on. Let as many people you know about it as you can, because I want to see men and women lives change.
I need to say something, Pastor.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I left this part out, and it's important. Now, if you have speeding and tickets and stuff like that, companies like FedEx and stuff, they won't hire you. You may be able to work for smaller companies, but it'd be best if you need to get with somebody from the church to try to remove some of seatbelt speeding problem. I don't want somebody to say, oh, he didn't mention about violations, moving violations, because that increases the insurance cost for the people. But you can still open your own business. Just your insurance is going to be high. All right, but the big companies won't hire you with moving violations. I wanted to put that in because I forgot to mention that. I was sorry for interrupting you, Pat.
No. That's beautiful, because there's so much that's going to happen on Saturday. Until this show is just the appetizer to what the meal is going to look like. So Amen. For those of you who are listening, you've gotten an appetizer to an amazing meal that's going to happen on Saturday. Want to say good afternoon to Pastor Nikki Collins. She says, awesome. Want to say good afternoon to Felicia. She said, it does not have to be your vision for you to support it. That's amazing, Herman.
That's outstanding. That's the type of support that I've noticed in Florida, but specifically in your area. Man, everybody's coming together to help the community. You listen, you can't ask for nothing greater. You can't pray for nothing greater than for each one to teach one, for us to come in and help one another. I have information to help you get the free grant. Y'all have access to people that need this. So we collaborating together to help our people to elevate. I love it, Pastor. I love it. You can't
this is a time, if there ever was a time for us as a people to unify, to empower each other. If we can bring men and women to the CDL training, and if those men and women can go through the training, get their CDL license, and out of those men and women, someone can open up a business, he just made available an opportunity for someone else. And if we reach one, and I mean, I hate to get off on this little tantrum here, but when I look at other nationalities and see how they live together, work together, they buy one store, then they help their cousin get another store. We fight each other so much that we can't even put our money together to get one store. We can't even buy bread together.
Well, not any longer, because me and Mr. Murphy put our money together to get one store, one CDL store. So it's changing. Thanks to Thanks to you making sure that us as a community do what's in our best interest. So I can't thank you enough, Pastor. I was supposed to eat lunch with you, and even if I had ordered lunch, I wouldn't have been able to eat it because so many people stop to shake your hand and recognize and give you your flowers for what you do for the community. So I truly, from here in New Orleans, I truly want to give you your flowers because it's easy to say than do. People always complain about the problem, but nobody's doing things to solve the problem like you and the other pastors. So truly, I'm not going to stop saying it. This cannot happen without community leaders such as you, Reverend Walker, Bishop Smith, and others that's on this, that are pushing us to do the things that our community needs to do to elevate financially. Find a good job, invest your money, that type of stuff. So thank you. Thank you very much, Pastor James.
Absolutely. I mean, we heard it first from Pastor Walker when he shared with some of his family members had signed up for Jacksonville, and they were driving to Jacksonville to stay to go to CDL training. And immediately we said, well, we've got to figure out a way to make this word get out there that there's a company, there's a minority school right here. And so here it is. And I think that the more information that we can make available to our people, the more we can empower them and the more we can work together to make our race empowered to do more. So it just doesn't stop with the CDL. And I think you said that earlier, that if there's someone who wanted to try another career, then you would show them the path to make that happen.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Wow.
Driving ain't for everybody. Everybody's not meant to be a driver. But if you get a grant, you can go to do different things that might be right for you. So still come. I invite everybody that want to get a grant, to get education, to get a license, nursing, plumbing, contracting, drones, whatever you need to do. We can get you approved for the grant. We prefer you to come to us, but this ain't for everybody. We still want you to do good. And that's what this community is about. This is the community that Pastor Greg, Reverend Walker, Bishop Smith, everybody's pushing, and the other pastors and bishops that's on this call. So that's what we want. That's what we need. That's definitely what we need. So yes, we will help. Doesn't matter which, if you wanted to do anything, we can see if we can get you a grant to do anything that you want to do. Welding, nursing, doesn't matter. Come out.
Wow.
Support, and we're here to help everybody.
Wow. Well, listen, I am so delighted that, you broke away from several meetings to join us today. And I'm grateful that you did that. And certainly I'm looking forward to Saturday morning. For those of you who are hearing the broadcast, call your friends, call your neighbors. I love for you to even call your haters to say, hey, listen, I know you're looking for a better way to make life better for yourself. It's happening Saturday morning. I want to see you do well. So, get out there, find out more about CDL training, and there are going to be more information available for other career opportunities. But we're focusing right now on CDL because you have the CDL schools. You've graduated over 5,000 individuals. And so
I have a system in place, but I'm going to tell you this, Pastor, you inspired me to give away 2 scholarships, 2 B license. They don't have to go to Career Source. They're going to pull tickets. They're going to do a raffle. And we're going to raffle them off on your show because you were the inspiration for it. So somebody that's coming there, you have to come there. You have to be a part of it. Come there, sign up, and then get your ticket to be able to win a sponsorship for 2 B licenses. You're going to get one, and somebody else will get another. They are free of charge. That's normally about $3,500 to get your license, a B license. And we're giving $7,000 worth absolutely free to people that attend the church, sign up, and be a part of the program.
Wow. So you heard that right here on the Greg James Community Show. 2 scholarships that's going to be given to an individual who comes, signs up. That's going to happen. That drawing is going to happen right here, right before Christmas, right here on the Greg James Community Show. 2 scholarships are going to be made available for you to attend school. But better beyond that, there's going to be information available to help you attend school for free. And you're going to hear all of what it takes to qualify for free. But at the end of the day, it's totally up to you to know in your heart that you want better for your life. And if you want better for your life, Mr. Herman is here to tell you how to do it. 5,000 individuals through the schooling have gone through successfully and have gone on to live life-changing lives. So certainly I want to thank you so much for joining us today. And you are just a man with a plethora of information. I can't wait to get you back on to talk about how to make money work and how to make money work for you. I can't wait to get you back on to talk about how to make money in minutes. I mean, so you just got a plethora of information. You got knowledge and you got experience to show. I mean, I think you showed us where you developed a $5 million neighborhood off of business loans, making it happen through your business.
Correct. So I can't wait to come back so we can share this knowledge, because I know your platform is about social economic mobility, right? Doing better, right? But you have to put the work in. Better is not going to come to you. You got to put the work in and go get better, right? So I love it. Listen, I've been on other streams. I've been on other platforms. I've been on TV, radio, and everything else. This is the most fun I've ever had disseminating information. I'm not just saying that, right? You have a pretty poster up there about the school. You're passionate about this. I've had so much fun, Pastor. I can't wait to come back.
Wow. Well, listen, I've enjoyed having you, and certainly I'm definitely passionate about empowering our people. It's one of my commitments that I made when I was away, that, hey, if I can get back and I can help empower men, women, boys, and girls to live better lives, that's what I want to do. Because at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, it's not about what you did for yourself. It's what you did for others that's going to count. And I love to lead by saying, may the work I've done speak for me. I'm not getting ready to die, but I just want you to know that I want my work to speak. And with that being said, thank you so much for joining us. It's happening Saturday right here, Tallahassee, Florida, Life Church International, 9 a.m. to 12 noon. So I'm looking forward to seeing you. And certainly we want to thank God for Mr. Herman Marini, the CEO and founder of trucking schools in Louisiana and Florida. And guess what? He is the author of the book, How to Get Free CDL Training. And one of the things that I most admire, 8 degrees at the age of 27. I said it again, 27. But listen, I look forward to seeing you all on Saturday. Make plans to join us, share the word, and listen, until next week, I want you to have an amazing day. Meet me Sunday morning, 9:45 at Life Church International, and I promise you, you're going to have a life-changing experience. Until then, you be blessed.